It is 11:27 on July 11th, 2023, and they're still arguing about whether or not I can just say use allegedly. I don't have to say it at all, actually, Mr. Warman. So we heard you arguing about that. How do I know you keep arguing about that? She can't just say use allegedly. She can't just say use allegedly. If you're arguing about whether or not I can say use allegedly, I don't have to say it. I really fucking don't. So, the morning start, let's do this again. Cause and effect, same, different, before, after. It's completely different when you do this crime to me. You guys are sex trafficking. You're running drugs. You're organized crime. We get it. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. The stalking goes along with the sex trafficking and all of that. So, cause and effect. When you do the crime to me, you get caught. And then I know you're arguing about whether or not I can say use allegedly, and that's enough. Use allegedly. Nobody's been found guilty in a court of law yet. But if I know you said, if you're arguing about whether or not I can just use allegedly, you got some problem there, Mark. When you do the crime to me, you get caught. It's different when you do it to me than any other victim. It's completely different. It's a whole different ballgame. But it's the same every time you do it. We're quoting you, you're not quoting us. We're naming your people. You don't have even one name of any of our guys at all, do you? Not one. Before. We get it before, not after. Before you do it. So, Mr. Perry was told in March 2020, Cynthia's privacy is not to be invaded anymore. You don't contact her or her family in any form, directly or indirectly at all. No peeping, no hacking, no butting into shit that doesn't concern you, like school. Do you know how many times we've heard you talking to my professors? A lot more than I've said. We don't put it all out. Some of it we're holding on. We're going to hold. Whether we say use allegedly or not. Second thing is, he said, she's not to be broke. You've already taken a shit ton of her money. Give it back and get the hell out. There's not going to be a lie. There's not going to be any trafficking. You're not owed anything. We've got a list. You got lists. We got lists too. Our list, our list of your people's names, list of recordings based on subject matter, list of how much money you owe Cindy. You owe me for watching me in the privacy of my home $1,000 a day, plus $2,000 a day for doing it without my consent, and you've been told repeatedly to cut that the fuck out. It's weirdo. It's also a crime. You're exploiting me. You're selling watch time on the dark web, a witness says. You sell watch time. You put cameras in women's homes without them knowing it, and then, like when we're at work or something, and then you broadcast this on the dark web and sell watch time, and you're raking it in while you starve us, because what you start doing is ripping apart our lives so we're easier to sell. This is like window shopping, right? Here's our list of emails that I typed up from a recording. Those are I typed up the transcripts of a recording of y'all talking, and those are the subject lines of the emails, what you're talking about. And then we got we got a list of your people's names. Mark, see, do you want me to use allegedly with all those names? Huh? That. So you also owe me money for every time you interfered with commerce and contracts, Mr. Perry. Like today. So, I came to Oklahoma. I moved 2 times to get away from Mr. Perry. I moved from Lubbock in November 2013 to the Dallas area, and I left there because Mr. Perry again began butting in. He began stalking. He began causing problem after problem after. Yeah, nobody likes problems or those who cause them. I moved again. I moved to Oklahoma to be with my family and to get away from him. So I went to great lengths to get away from him and not have a fight. No drama, no conflict, no fuss, no fight, nothing. No contact at all. Completely changed my life twice. Started all over again in a whole new place. No job, nothing. Just picked up and left. Most people, I'm 54. Most people have a house about paid off by now. So you've interfered with a whole lot of commerce, haven't you? My guys are going to charge you for every time you did. Every fucking time. Every time, Lucius, I try to send a text or an email and you interfere with it, he's charging you for a cybercrime. He knows exactly how many. We hear y'all talking about it. Don't let that get to XYZ person that she's about to send it to. So every time you do that, you've been recorded talking about it, so he's got you on intent, malicious aforethought. So then if I send it and you block it, he's going to charge you for a cybercrime every time you do. He said you got about 200 emails and texts people sent to you that you've never seen. After they're charged in the trial and all that, you can go through them and look at them and see how many people were trying to get in touch with you, and he interfered. He butt into something that was not his business. So you can deal with that. So we got the list of your names right here. Talking to my professor, telling her to fail me. My guys went over my homework, my assignments. He goes, you made about a D, not an F. So you're going to have a few hours in the morning to fix that before I do. If I have to drop everything I'm doing and clean up another mess you made, you're going to pay for that too. You're paying with intel. Millions of dollars you spent for your cover-up on us intel. So he said, the witness says, he puts cameras in these women's home, broadcasts them on the internet, begins to rip apart their life. He'll get them fired from their job, make sure they can't find another job. Then they lose the house, then the ex takes the kids away. Blows up these little kids' lives, blows them up, plumb up. And he thinks that's funny. He's a sex sadist. He's a weirdo. And he's selling these women. Because when you have nothing left, no car, no money, no nothing, you're a lot easier to sell, right? You're a lot easier for some guy, some sex maniac freak show to sit you down and go, now you got nothing left. So you're going to go over here and live with guy XYZ who just bought you, and you're going to be his sex slave. And if you don't perform, we won't feed you. Slavery ended at the Civil War, dum-dum. Okay, so the guys that got me that puzzle right there, it's not your name on there, is it? It's Fabian's name, isn't it? Because you butt into something that didn't concern you. This puzzle got to me in jail when you illegally detained me and held me hostage. For 2 months, I lost my home. My son had to go to school and explain to his friends, why is your mom's mugshot everywhere? And my son is like, well, she kept saying this guy's going to false arrest her, and then he did. She's in Lubbock, right where he is. He did it. He did it exactly like she said. Here. My son heard me screaming to his dad one night, telling him exactly what it says in this email. Heard it. Comes running downstairs to me, and he goes, do you need me to call Craig, my cousin? I go, no, don't call Craig. Are you sure? Are you okay? I was clearly upset. It was months before you did it. So we did say before. Then my guys get this to me in jail. I left the Dallas area in September 2014. I've been in Oklahoma ever since. That's 10 years. 9 years, right? So, Lucius, you need to call Professor Hebron and fix my grade. Because my guys went over it. They weren't very upset with you. Because we know you made the phone call. They heard you. Okay? You fix it. If I have to drop everything I'm doing and fix that, you're going to pay. He's not kidding. If he can get this, and I have your name, you ought to be shitting yourself, dude. I don't know you. I did not pick a fight with you. I don't fucking know who you are. You have no business making those kind of phone calls at all. You messed up my student loan. You better make sure I have money tomorrow. You, Lucius. Okay? We got all these people's names that work in your little criminal organization, and you guys make a hell of a lot of phone calls. How does she know? How does she find out? How does she find out about that? How does she know? Okay, first of all, Mr. Perry asked me, is it your family? Is it Al? Is it China? Is it Putin? Oh my God, wow. Okay, first of all, one interesting thing is that I'm pretty much always quoting you, Mr. Perry, and your people. I'm not really quoting my family, am I? And yet you think my family's leaking. Wow. We had a situation where we heard a guy talking to you, and he said Broken Arrow Police Department is a little upset with you because she made a comment about you talking about, let's have Broken Arrow Police Department. I think you were talking with Calvin. Let's have Broken Arrow Police Department pull her over. They get Barry Hill or one of those guys on the stand in a grand jury bullshit, or your whatever bullshit you're doing in court. Judge Egan, Judge Parker. We're quoting judges, Charles, Calvin, Lucius, and all your calls of, I got a lot of money, and we got a lot of power, and we have this, and we got that, and I need you to give me this, and I need you to tell me who's doing this, and how do I get, is it helping? We get the intel either way. We're getting the intel either way. So, he's like, he testified that there was no conversation between Mr. Perry and Broken Arrow Police, asking Broken Arrow Police to pull her over. But the problem is, and again, right now, I'm not quoting Chief Barry Hill, and I'm not quoting even you. I'm quoting someone else. So, and I'm not even told half the time who it is I'm listening to. There's reasons they tell me certain things and don't tell me other things. There's a reason for it. There's a lot of strategy involved in this. You guys are organized crime. It's very important that we get the information. It's very important that we use this information to arrest you. It's very important that once you're arrested, you're convicted, and you can't ever hurt anybody again. And we've gotten closer to that goal than anybody you know. Whether you understand that or not our problem, is it? Doesn't matter to fuck to us. We get the intel either way. You're going to be arrested either way. It'll be used to convict you either way, whether you understand my words or not. We're a little tired of trying to get you to understand words. We say it, then we show you. This should be a crime deterrent. It's very odd that it's not. It shows how deep delusion you are. The guys that are helping me, after they went over my schoolwork and found out you made a D, not an F. By the way, my most of my grades are straight A's. When I make something less than an A, once in a while, it's because it might be a science or math. I struggle a little bit with science and math. So I think in a science class I made a B, and in a math class I made a B. Everything else is A. Unless you're doing something to fuck everything up for me. Then it's a D or a C. And that's only happened about 3-4 times. Now, the last class I took was crisis management. I'm going through a situation right now, and have been for 10 years, where a gentleman who's been diagnosed with a mental illness, Huntington's disease, which causes hallucinations, delusions, paranoia, psychosis, and impaired cognitive reasoning, for 10 years has ripped up my life. So I don't want to hear about the fucking mental illness problems and how you deal with it appropriately. Right now, I told my professor, when this guy's in jail and I have some time to get over it and heal and all that stuff, I might be a little more empathetic to that kind of thing. Right now is not the time for you to ask me to take a class where I got to be empathetic toward the mentally ill. It's not going to happen. I'm not. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what your problem is, your fucktard diagnosis. I don't care. I'm getting hit. I've had major catastrophic loss after major catastrophic loss from a bunch of psychotic nutbags. So I don't give a fuck about the whole mental illness shit. And you got to say the right thing in just the right way. No, can't get them all upset. We got to diffuse. Not my thing right now. This is not. So there was some assignments in that class. I just was like, fuck it. I don't want to do it. That doesn't mean I made an F. Actually, my guys went over it. I made a D, he said. Still passed it. But because you put on the had her do what she did what you said, that's gonna fuck up my student loan money. But here's the thing, as much money as you owe me, even you kept my parents from giving my inheritance money to me, I shouldn't need a student loan, should I? No. Use allegedly, bitch. Use allegedly. So Barry Hill, poor guy, I guess, said on the stand, he's all mad because he got on the stand and he testified that she's full of crap, that Charles never called him and asked him to pull her over, one of his officers. But here's the thing, that's not what Cynthia said at all. She's not quoting him. She's not quoting a conversation between Charles and Broken Arrow Police. She's just quoting Charles telling someone, let's have Broken Arrow Police Department pull her over. Once she finds out, a lot of times they won't actually do it. Sometimes they will, sometimes not. So he testified to something he did not see. So if you call around, I mean, if you asking me, is your family like, is your family? Have I quoted my family? I'm quoting you, not them. Dum-dum. Now, we get this intel whether you understand words or not. We don't care. That's your problem. Isn't it? Yeah, let me show you something. All of this stuff, Lucius said, I'll scare you to death that I have your name. Calvin, you too. You guys butt into my shit all the time. There was another professor that you guys called, and one of you said, there's a murder investigation that she's a suspect in, and she's being uncooperative with police. And my professor said, here's the thing. You're sitting here telling me that you had the other murder suspect, change her hair color to match Cynthia's, and you're trying to get Cynthia to tan so that Cynthia's skin matches the other suspect. It looks to me like you're altering evidence, and if you are altering evidence, you have to get people to change stuff to make it fit your lie. She doesn't need to cooperate with you. You've eliminated her. She didn't do it. She just doesn't trust you because she knows you're full of crap. A lot of my professors are cops, by the way. So they know good and well that if you have the right person, you don't need to have change of hair color and get a tan and lose some weight because you're too fat for us to make it look like Cindy did it. She's half your size. Offender, real person that did it. And Richard's talking to somebody, I guess it was Richard, it sounded like him, and he said, I can't put Cynthia at the scene even. Here's the thing, Charles and Dave and those guys ran all her friends off and all her family. So it's not like she socializes. She goes to work, she does her school, she goes to the grocery, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all she does. So I don't think she's even been to the scene. I can't place her there, ever. If you had left her friends alone, maybe I could go to her friends and say, has she ever been to XYZ location where this crime occurred we're trying to frame her with? And the guy goes, she'll have a public defender. They won't think of that. And he goes, well, have you met her? Did you see what she did on Mike Nealey's case? She'll think of it, dum-dum. So, you're framing her for something. That is not going to work. You had another guy go, I wish we were dealing with somebody that hadn't taken a forensic science class. The other thing is there's like a bazillion episodes of XYZ TV show. If you hadn't taken a forensic science class, there's that. CSI Las Vegas. They get newer episodes on now. They actually did show some of the gate technology that we've studied in our forensic science class, where you can actually make identity based on the person's gait, which I guess there's a video of the girl that did the murder that you guys were trying to frame me for, and maybe Richard or somebody else, whoever's I think Richard's working on it. Ringtone, Richard. Get a ringtone, Richard. Richard, get a ringtone. Like 800 emails that I have every time you guys told him get her ringtone. So much we call him Ringtone Richard, poor guy. So he's like, we got a video and they don't walk the same. The gestures are completely different. It's not her. It's not the same person. If you're telling my professor this, first of all, you're slandering me. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Second of all, you're violating my right to privacy. You don't get to do that either. So you call one, you call another, you call it. And the last one was to Cynthia Hebron. Fail her. So my guy started looking into my grade. He goes, you made a D, not an F. You should have passed the class. And you should have had your student loan money by Friday. So because you didn't, they're going to pay. So we find out this morning there was another hearing, right? In which one of my relatives was admitting to giving some false testimony. And he was asked why. And he said, I guess at the time I lacked the information I needed. Is that correct? You, Mr. Perry, We're running around like a madman ape, telling everybody, if I can't deliver her, I stand to lose millions. You know what? The guys that got me this puzzle, and that you said that this morning, and Lucius and Calvin's name, and all the conversations I'm repeating, and Judge Parker and Judge Egan, if it's not law enforcement that's giving her this stuff, then give me a viable alternative theory with some supporting evidence, because right now it sounds like you're coming up with shit out of your ass. It's not working in a courtroom. I'm paraphrasing. Clearly she didn't use those words, but I'm paraphrasing. Now, whether you understand cause and effect, when you do the crime to me, you get caught. Not my fucking problem, is it? We get the intel in either way. The intel will be used to put you in jail. We don't care what you believe. You live in pretend delusion land anyway. You're diagnosed mentally ill. So what difference does it fucking make to me if you don't understand words? We're getting the intel in either way. They got that puzzle to me anyway, didn't they? Wasn't up to you, was it? No, so they're worried about whether or not I eat, because you keep taking my money so that I can't eat. You've taken my money. This is the first week in a long time. I have not 1 ounce of clean clothes. Nothing clean. I can't even afford to go to the fucking laundry. So you're going to pay. You're going to pay for the conversation you had with my teacher. You're going to pay for fucking up my money, Mr. Perry. You have been already with intel. See that? You took my money. We got that. You caused a problem for me. We got that. Okay? How many judges have I quoted? This is Kirkendall. We've quoted Morrissey. She's going to file a 12-1031. We hacked her. We're sitting here watching on our computer research it. So that's a cyber crime. You'll get charged with that. Then he picks up the phone and calls Judge Morrissey. Cindy's about to file a 12-1031, which is a vacation on fraud. Motion to vacate on fraud in the state of Oklahoma. And she says, well, he's explaining some different things to her, and she goes, telling her stuff he shouldn't know a thing about. Well, then I guess I'll have to do a little better then, because it's frowned upon in my denial, won't I? I heard her. So we know you went duck hunting with Sam Cummings. Now, if I'm quoting what judges are saying, Judge Parker, my guy goes, Judge Parker, every time they all tell Chief Franklin have her pulled over and you don't get pulled over, Judy calls him and screams and yells at him like it's his fault. He didn't have a thing to do with that. We control that. We're controlling that. We're watching them. If we know he's got an officer down on Sheridan 41st, and they give you a DoorDash order at Chick-fil-A on 41st, and have you go to deliver it right down, and they'll tell that officer she's going to have a delivery down at Garnett and 41st, so when she goes through Sheridan, pull her over. We heard him talking about it, so go a different way. They don't have anything to do with that at all. That's between me and these guys that got me this right here. It's not between Chief Franklin or whoever, officer, whatever. There's a list of that too. They won't give me that. We're already in traffic court. I asked for that list. I don't have it. Why don't I have it? Yeah, it's a Brady violation. And that's a whole different thing. I said, it's a Brady violation. Judge, I want this dismissed. And he tells the guy, why didn't you give her the list? And he says, it's not relevant. Great, give me a brief explaining why it's not relevant and why it's not a Brady violation and all that crap. And he didn't. He gave me a brief that said, you can't do a hearing on insufficient evidence. Right, but I did not assert that. I did not assert insufficient evidence. I asserted Brady. Give me an argument why my evidence that I'm asking for isn't a Brady violation, or why, that's the kind of argument I should have seen. So I asked for another dismissal. He didn't get it. Okay, so you're trying to do even more pullovers. We heard you talking about it. I just went a different way. We're on to your game. Okay? That ought to make you shit. Now, what I'm going to tell you again is, when you do that crime to me, you get caught. You cost me money. You cause a problem for me. I lose even an eyelash because of you. They're going to cause you 20. Well, don't you think it's a little bit of a problem that I know all that? Who all has it? You don't know that. 12 reporters, 3 not in the U.S., 40 cops, 1 shrink, 1 judge, and a forensic accountant. Are they all in the U.S. or some of them out? You wanted to go global. So how many of those people, besides the 3 reporters outside the country, how many of those officers might be outside the country too? You don't know. That ought to make you shit yourself. Nobody will help you. Doesn't matter how much money you have. Doesn't matter what words you understand or don't understand. We get the intel either way. We don't care. It's your problem if you're stupid. It's not our problem, is it? We're getting the intel either way. Right? So that's Kirkendall. We got one of our victims. We need to get her back in Texas where we can do more to hurt her. So the guys helping me are worried that I can't eat. They're not worried about your millions that you're going to lose by not being able to break they're making you stop breaking the law. Oh, poor you. I can't violate the law selling a human being into slavery, and I'm going to lose millions. I'm trying to starve her. She's literally going days without food. Can't even afford laundry. All dirty clothes. But I'm the victim. Oh my God. They want to beat the hell out of you for saying that. So that was Lucky Miller right there, I believe. About pulling me over. We get sick and tired of Charles Perry calling my office. I'm busy. I have crimes and shit. So does Tulsa Police. So does Broken Arrow Police. So does Jinx Police. So does Bixby. You called all of them, haven't you? So, Calvin's usually the one that calls in the pullovers. Aren't you, Calvin? Bald, fat Calvin. I've never met you that I know of, so that ought to scare the shit out of you that we have your name and a description. So, Lucky was like, I'm sick and tired of them calling me, asking me to pull her over to get information off of her car and give it to them. I'm very busy. I have stuff to do. I might actually end up calling him a protective order, and that would be motive for murder, David, right? Yeah, don't fuck with us. Don't fuck with us. Because whether you understand what I'm saying or not, when you do the crime to me, we find out about it, you get caught. Before, not after. I didn't get pulled over tonight. I was told to go a different way than what it said on my little DoorDash app. That actually happens kind of a lot. Right, Dickie? I think Dickie told you that, didn't he? Dickie, I think, is the one that gets me. We don't really have a problem with Al, and a little bit with Richard, but not a whole lot, and with Dickie. I'm not saying they're leaks. I'm saying we're hearing them argue with you guys about stuff that in a way that makes sense. Like, they're saying things that make sense, and you're not. Just that simple. So we don't have as much of a problem with those three, just because when we hear them talk, they actually have some logic behind what they say. So whether or not they're leaks, I'm not told who the leaks are. I wouldn't help you if I was. I don't want to be broke anymore, and when you're gone, I won't be. So, I'm tired of starving. When you're in jail, I won't starve anymore ever again. So, this is Calvin right here. Get her kicked out of her home. We can't take her money and get her kicked out on money, because normally that's what we would do. Interfere with commerce and contracts. To coerce her. To force and cause unbearable distress so she would subjugate, right? And be sold into slavery voluntarily, just to survive. It's not voluntarily if it's just to survive. You cause so much financial duress. It's coercion by way of interfering with commerce, interfering with contracts, grand larceny with intent to coerce. Stealing my car with intent to coerce. So we got 20,000 times Mr. Perry has said, take your car away, please take your car away, please take your car away. 20,000 times. You pissed us off so much. You pissed us off so much trying to take my car that my guys start getting stuff like that too. You pissed off a leak or something. Or you pissed off the judge who grants the orders for a wiretap or something. Okay? So, it's completely different than any other victim that you have ever had. And you're stupid. You're not getting the cause and effect. You're not getting same and different. You're not getting before and after. And my guy was going back and forth tonight. It just seems like he would, this would deter his crime when he does it to you. I'm sick and tired of watching you not be able to eat. I'm sick and tired of watching him just cause one problem after another. I'm sick and tired of this bitch pester you and pester you and pester. I'm trying to figure out how to reason with him so he leaves you alone. We're talking about how go ahead and have shrink is going to get in touch with another shrink and another judge, and they may go ahead and so they can't actually get to us. They may actually go ahead and sign an order to have him admitted into a mental hospital so he's out of your hair for a little bit. So that way you can make some money, you can breathe a little bit while we finish this up. And it may not hurt him to have some proper treatment, because he's not understanding what fucking things that's happening. He can't understand a word we're saying. Everybody's having to repeat themselves. He's repeated himself. And, I mean, we're just at a loss. We're out of words here. And he finally stopped himself, and he goes, you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. I get the intel either way. If he can't understand what people say, that's his fucking problem. I'm going to get the intel and put him in jail with it either way. So they did this. We need to get her kicked out of her home. Can't do it because of COVID. Can't do it on money because of COVID. This was February 9th. This was February 15th, a few days later. He said, we'll do it on smoking. And then they did, before or after. And your judge, whoever, what's it, Egan? She's got a lot of information here well in advance to when you did it. A lot of car accidents that are very similar. They're very odd. One right after, in a short period of time after this 2019 email that says I'm going to have her car towed or sold, even though it's not legal. Whether she figures that, this one here. I think he said it's not legit, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. Her car's wrecked, and again, and right at the way, it's all similar. And you're telling me she can't prove you did that. Well, but I think there's some law enforcement involved that can, because they got that to her. So, the most compelling, I'm seeing a lot of that. And the most compelling is that she knew Manfred police officer Mike Nealey was drugged well in advance before first responders were deposed that confirmed that, and well before it hit the public docket where the public could view it. So I'm seeing right now, it does appear law enforcement is helping her. And until you provide a viable alternative theory, I have to go with what she says. I'm not even in the courtroom. I guess they're listening to my podcast in the courtroom. So thank you, Judge Egan or whoever, because finally somebody just logic, normal logic, reasonableness. I did make an A in criminal law and criminal procedure. Reasonableness is the big standard, is it not? Okay, so reasonable, prudent individual. When you do crime, it's something that people don't like. They made it illegal for a reason. It's outside social norms. It's something we do not tolerate in a civilized society. It's an act that disgusts and repels people. And so it's been made illegal for a reason. Doesn't matter who you are. You're still going to repel people. Jeff Epstein had all this money. He had all this power. But his crimes repulsed and repelled. And he did get, he got arrested. What makes you think he won't? I mean, Bill Clinton had to address his, the thing with Bill Clinton is that his deal was consensual. But he still got in trouble for lying to people. He had to deal with it either way. And I don't know who you think you are, but you're not Bill Clinton or Jeff Epstein. So you guys, our guys are like, these guys are delusional whack jobs. All of them are. So the thing is, that's not my problem, though. Whether they understand what I'm saying or not, or what you're saying or not, is really not relevant, is it? We're still getting the intel to put him in jail either way, aren't we? Yeah, I think we are. This is the one she was talking about. I said it in March 2020. He was drugged. He didn't do it. And after that, Mr. Perry starts threatening me and bribing me and threatening me and bribing me. And my guy's like, oh, stop right there. Stop the fuck right there. Here's what's going to happen. She doesn't have to lie for you. At no time does she have to lie for you. And at no time does she have to be trafficked. And at no time does she have to do fuck for you. You weren't invited to Oklahoma, were you? No, you were not. I didn't introduce you to my family, did I? No, I did not. You have crossed boundaries that are, it's obscene. It is obscene. You don't have my consent for shit. So we got a fuck ton of this. The guy's like, she's got a lot of these. It's not just one or two. She's got a fuck ton. And then somebody else was, this thing is not working for them, that they go around saying, well, she caught us, so let's just let the dust settle and try again. Because now she doesn't just have a little, she has, and I quote, a fuck ton of these recordings, emails that goes with a recording. So my guy's like, the club gets full of paying customers right now. Because you ran off all their customers, you make that right with those people, and you get that place full of paying customers who are not grabby and weirdo. Just get the club money. You're taking their money, put it back. Just, you don't have a choice. Get Tristan and Fabian up there to talk to her, and you butt the fuck out. It's not your business. Calvin, how much cash I have or gasoline I have, not your business, dude. You need to mind your own business. And we hear you talking about that all the time, too. How much gasoline does she have? How much cash does she have? None of your business. Get a life. Get a fucking life. He said she's not to be broke. Give her her money back and get out right now. And you didn't understand what he said. So look what we got after that. Mr. Perry, look how much we got after that. All of that was after March 2020. All the names, Beverly, Betancourt, Oscar, all those names, Calvin, Geppetto, after March 2020. Because you didn't understand what I said or what he said. So we've kind of struggled with how can we word this where a very, very mentally ill, mentally retarded man can understand. And that he'll back off. And it should be a crime deterrent. So he'll just leave you alone while we finish our investigation. And he was going back and forth and going, I think we're going to have Shrink put him in a mental hospital. We're not sure, blah, blah, blah. We're trying to figure out how to do that where they can't find out who we are. We're talking to some other therapists, some other judges, trying to figure out how we can do this. So he gets a court order to a mental hospital and gets out of your hair for a little while, and they'll maybe sit him down and explain to him so he can understand things that people say. And we'll see if that didn't help him. But his family's not helping him. He's whack job as they get. He doesn't understand a fucking thing anybody says. And he finally stopped himself and he goes, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's not my problem. If he either understands what I'm saying and he either understands what's happening or he doesn't. And if he does or doesn't, not my fucking problem. I'm going to get the intel and put him in jail either way. So, there's that. We have stuff nobody else has. Look at all that. Completely different than any other victim, right? I know you sold me to a guy in Houston. Everybody's very upset that I'm not eating, and I have a bunch of dirty clothes that I can't even pay to wash. It costs $6 to do laundry. You have hacked my DoorDash app that badly. I think tonight I made $20. That is not normal. DoorDash people are not happy that you're using their application for criminal activity. We talked to them. My guys talked to them. You're talking to my school. Are they happy? That's, that my school is not your business, is it? Okay, so I'm going to show you what other people think. Then I want to talk about Michael Reed. Michael Reed, again, I hear a lot of, we think Mike's leaking. Okay, let's take this back again for the stupid slow people. I'm not quoting him unless he's talking to you. If your name is on this list, chances are very high you got a wiretap order on all your phones. So, am I quoting Mike Reed when he's talking to other people? Or am I quoting him, if I quote him at all, when he's talking to you? Mostly I quote you. Correct? Okay, dum-dum. Keep up with everybody else. All right, here's the Looney Tune of a whack job. Also a stalker. Do you like having a camera in your face? Like this, somebody taking pictures of you? She asks him, trying to make a point. He doesn't get the point. He's like, I got pictures of you. Want me to go get them? I'm gonna get you. Perry's the same way. When you do the crime to me, you get caught. That should be a deterrent. You don't make me broke. You don't invade my privacy. You don't contact me or my family. You were told to stop. All that's very offensive behavior. All of it's very repulsive conduct. And that's why it's illegal, dum-dum. So you piss everybody off. And we find out what you're up to. Because there are cops from somewhere else that would like to put you in jail. The first complaint was human rights violations. If I can't eat because you're fucking up my work and my money, running customers out of my strip club when I'm stripping, hacking my DoorDash app, jamming it up, trying to make sure I go take this particular order. Let's give her a bunch of shitty orders. Then we'll give her one really, really outrageously good, $7 for 3 miles. But we got to make sure we have an officer at 41st and Sheridan when she picks up Chick-fil-A and takes it down to Garnett. Right? Make sure he's there. So I go up to 31st in that way, or down to 51st in that way, or something. Not what the DoorDash orders app says. Anything but what that says. Using probably a lot more gas than I should. Right, Calvin? But that's you. You love it when you take me places where I'm going to use a lot of my gas. Right? They're going to make you pay. We pay. You're paying right now with Intel. Millions of dollars you spent for a cover-up bodice. Intel. The Intel will be used to arrest you and convict you. Whether you understand those words or not our problem. We're going to get it and do it either way. If you're stupid like this guy, and he can't understand the words she said. He did not respond like he understood at all. Look how maddening it is to have to deal with that. Fucking fucktards.
You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you feel?
Is that the one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
scratches?
I got scratches. I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of it.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're gonna
I don't give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay.
You can bring the whole fucking army. I don't give a fuck.
This make you feel? Huh? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you feel?
Is that the one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
scratches?
I got scratches. I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of it.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're gonna
I don't give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay.
You can bring the whole fucking army. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, when I say they're gonna make you pay, what I mean by that is through the legal process. Okay, you either pay with Intel, because we're getting what nobody else has. Millions of dollars bought us Intel. Right? Didn't buy your cover-up. Your crime's not been this uncovered. You're seeing things you've never seen before. When he pesters her and takes her money, things don't go well. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. And Perry's running around going, let's do it more. Let's do it more. Who told on me? How'd she find out about that? How did she know about that? Oh my God. Just as Looney Tunes as this guy. Cause, effect, same, different before and after. And even if you're too stupid to put all that together in your head, not our problem, is it? We're going to get the intel and put you in jail with it either way.
This make you feel? Huh? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you feel?
Is that the one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
scratches?
I got scratches. I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of it.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're gonna
I don't give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay.
You can bring the whole fucking army. I don't give a fuck.
This make you feel? Huh? You're filming my father and my...
Because my guys think like this. They're very upset when I don't have money to eat. Very upset. And they don't give two fucks about how upset you are. That they're not going to let you commit a crime and you're going to lose millions from your crime. I could stand to lose millions if I can't deliver her to the buyer in human trafficking. Listen to those words. Everybody else who can think past tying their shoe. I'll stand to lose millions if I can't deliver her to the buyer in Houston, the Houston realtor, in human trafficking. So, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. They're very upset that I don't have food, that you fucked with my school loan money, or that I even need a school loan, being you owe me as much as you do. So with that, you're buying us intel. Because normal people can't understand why anyone would fucking do that. So our guys are like this.
This make you feel?
Leave
me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
I don't.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Okay, now, using taxpayer-funded resources for your personal gain is illegal. Also, Mr. Perry, heard of abuse of office or abuse of power? I think it's worded a little different depending on what state you live in. Have you heard of that? Remember, I took criminal law and I made an A, and I took criminal procedure and I made an A. Whatever else, math and science, I struggle with a little bit more. I think I made a B, but I made an A in those two classes, sir. I have 40 cops helping me from somewhere else. They don't care what you think. They're going to get the intel either way. You don't get to call a cop and have him pull me over to get information off my car to give to you, a stalker. You don't. Okay? Then we also had way back when, about the same time, March, April 2020, somebody said, Charles Perry goes around telling people that's his girlfriend, and that is not his girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. I'm sitting right here holding her hand. I never call her family. That's weirdo. But if I did, let's say I did call her family and her friends, it would be to ask what she wants for her birthday and Christmas, not to ask her family to give information of her car so he can take it away from her. Now, we know that you lied to my family. We know that. We know that you told them it's just a bad economy and I've been trying to help her and she just won't let me. And that's bullshit. You're the one making me broke. It's not a bad economy. It may not be just fantastic, but it's not terrible. A lot of people have great jobs. I should be making $4,000 a month. Not, certainly smart enough. You guys had to have a little meeting to try to figure out how to fuck my school up. Otherwise, I had a 3.9 GPA. I had a 3.9 GPA until I said something, and y'all had a meeting to try to figure out how to make one woman fail. Now it's a 3.5. It shouldn't be. It should be a D, not an F, Lucius. You need to fix that, because you're going to pay through the normal legal process. You're going to get a charge for that. You interfere. You're the one that interferes with. We've heard you. Don't let that get. If she's going to send a text to XYZ person, don't let him get it. Cybercrime charge right there. The second you do it. Talking about it's not a crime. The second you do it, now we got you. Because not only did you do it and we got you doing it, committing the act, we had you talking about it before you did it. Even if it's just a minute or two. Okay? We know you're the one that does that quite a lot. We know a lot, don't we? You're the ones running around. How did you know about that? How did she find out? Is it your family leaking? I'm not quoting my family, I'm quoting you, dum-dum. So, no is the answer to that. No. I'm quoting you. I'm quoting your people. Am I not? So stop calling whatever this deal is that Judy yells at Chief Franklin every time I don't get pulled over on the night that I was supposed to. What is the legal basis for you to contact TPD to have them illegally access my phone, or someone illegally access my phone to be able to tell a police officer she's going to be coming down Sheridan in about 2 minutes. I'll call you when she hits confirm as she's driving out of the parking lot. We heard you say, Calvin. So be ready to pull her over. Where's the support that with legal arguments and and case law that it's okay to do that. Illegally access my electronic device, because we call that cybercrime. And abuse of office, witness tampering, interference with contracts and commerce, coercion. That's what we call it. That's what your charges will be. It doesn't matter what you understand. We're getting the intel for your arrest and conviction either way. Regardless of whether you understand. Nobody cares if you understand. We used to, but not anymore. Not anymore. That ship sailed. So, most people think it's repulsive. And you're garbage. For harassing me like you do. Fabian said, when I'm talking to Fabian about you, because I'm telling my friend in a private Facebook message, she lives in fucking New York. She's not in Dallas. She's not in Texas. She's in fucking New York. And she Facebook messages me and she goes, have you met anybody that you're dating yet? Or that you like? Or are you dating anybody? And I said, no, but I like one of my managers at work. Fabian. I go to work the very next day. Oh my God, he was an asshole. He was so mean to me. He was hostile. And I was like, wow, we didn't have a fight. So Charles did something, because he and I did not have a fight. There was no fight. That happens a lot, Charles. You butted, everything's fine, everything's good, and here comes Charles, and he'll fuck everything up, and he ruins everything good, and he makes everything that's fun unfun, and everybody hates you for it. Problems after you make problems. Here's the thing, people do not like conflict, they do not like drama, they do not like problems, they do not like hardships, they do not like suffering, or those who cause it. We're getting the help, not you. You have the leaks, we do not. We don't have one day that we get on the phone and we call anybody at all and ask if are you leaking? How did they find out what we're up to? You don't know. We've never had the problem with that. People like us, they do not like you. Judy, did you understand that? Judge Parker, we're getting the help with the intel. I know you're involved. I've heard you call Chief Franklin and chew his ass out, and that is out of line, and I've said that before. We don't like it when you do that. Why in the world do you do that? I live in Tulsa. Chief Franklin has jurisdiction over me and all the crime that happens to me in Tulsa. Why would you obstruct if he was helping? Why are you obstructing justice if Chief Franklin did help? He's not helping. He's not in the loop. He's not in the need to know. So rest assured, you're yelling at him for nothing. It's cops from somewhere else. They got a complaint on human rights violations, and they know you're involved. There's a thing called facilitating or co-conspiracy to trafficking and coercion, and you're very close to being in that, especially when you call Chief Franklin and tell him, yell and scream at him because I didn't get pulled over. Why didn't she get pulled over? You mean you didn't hack her app? Illegally access? You shouldn't know a fucking thing I do, Perry. Nobody should. You've run off all my friends. You've run off all my family. So it's not like I call my friends and family and say, I'm going to go to work now. And I work at different hours. There's no set schedule. I can't do it that way. I wish I could. I have a stalker. So I have to always change things up. And so nobody really knows when I work. I might work in the day. I might work at night. I was waitressing at the club. He ran me out of the club. So you could have known that I'd be working at the club waitressing, but you ran me off. And then I started dancing, but I injured my knee. I can still waitress with an injured knee. I just can't jump up on that pole. But you fucked that up for me. So I don't have a place where I go where it's a set schedule, do I? Because you always fuck everything up. If it's good, you ruin it. And for that reason, we get intel very easily. No problem at all. Because people are offended by what you're doing to me. They're very upset that I can't eat half the time. I have to call for help. That's even more upsetting. I should be making $4,000 a month, not living off of $4,000 in a student loan every 6 months, and you fuck that up too. Making an illegal phone call to a professor you should know even exists. But you did, and so we do. Right? People get very upset with what you're putting me through. They don't give a fuck about your $2 million or $3 million, whatever millions you're not going to get, because nobody will let you commit the crime when you do it to me. Golly, you gotta see how that came across to everybody else. So I don't call people, and I don't have a schedule now. So here I'm when I'm working. I don't Facebook it. I'm not one of those people that Facebook's, you breathe. I gotta breathe. I put it on Facebook. I took a breath. Now I'm having coffee. Now I'm taking brushing my teeth. Every little thing. Some people Facebook it. I'm not that guy. I'm not that girl. I don't do shit like that. And you ran off all my friends, so it's not like I'm talking to my friends and going, here's when I work, and you ran them off. So I don't tell people anything that I do. No, you should know. Stalking is felony. Stalking is a felony, Judge Parker. They should know what I do, when I do it, or how I do it, or when I'm working, what days I'm off, what days I'm working. Should they? But they do. Call in a pullover. We can't, TPD can't do it. Maybe we could get Broken Arrow to do it. Maybe Jinx will do it. Let's block all the DoorDash zones except Jinx. Or South Tulsa. Get her to use all her gas, driving all the way down to South Tulsa on the days that she had actually planned to work in North Tulsa. Right? Or go all the way to Jinx. Right? If I'm planning to work on North Tulsa, usually what I do is drive up to North Tulsa and then hit the DoorDash app, and then if it's blocked, I gotta drive all the way back down to South Tulsa. So, actually the last couple of days, I've just DoorDashed in South Tulsa. Sometimes the money's better in up in the north part. So, I'll do north part. It just depends. But, whatever I decide to do, and you usually somehow know that before, illegally, our guys have a court order, or you have a leak. You guys just have a weirdo problem you can't control. We're not selling people. We're not doing that. We're trying to stop that. The original complaint was human rights violations. Right? You're violating the basic rights and needs of women and children. Doesn't sit well with most folks. Most folks are going, why in the fuck would anyone do that? We hear that a lot. Why is he doing that to her? Why? I can't believe they did that to her. Followed by, we're quoting you. We're quoting you. Normal people don't act like you. You're like, they see you like this guy.
Look, I don't care.
Leave me alone.
Her, and you need to leave her alone.
Oh.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't.
Alright, so you see this right here. Notice the Jinx area is wide open. What I do when I open up my Dasher app is I go, whichever area is wide open, that's the police department they want me to be pulled over by today. They've probably already put the phone call in. So, a lot of times what will happen too is I'll be up in North Tulsa door dashing, and it'll have a spot open till, say, like 8 p.m. 8 p.m. it shuts off. There's nothing else open except South Tulsa. So I drive all the way down to South Tulsa and work South Tulsa, and it'll be the same thing. That spot's available till 9. So that's what, an hour? And then that shuts off and nothing's available. And except up in North Tulsa. So I'm driving back and forth between North Tulsa and South Tulsa all fucking night. There goes all my gasoline, all my profit. And I'll get mostly upside down orders. My acceptance rate's at like 26%. That's very low. That means I'm getting a lot of crap orders, and I'm only taking 26% of them. Because it has to be about $1.50 a mile, or it's not worth doing. Your time, your gas. It's not like I'm broke because I'm a stupid business person. I'm broke because you hacked my app and you make sure I don't make any money. And you make sure that the only place open is Jinx, where you've called your Jinx PD officer and told him, we're going to have her get some DoorDash orders in Jinx today, so we'll have her going down XYZ Street at XYZ time, and you be ready to pull her over. Right? We're going to get her a DoorDash order at Tulsa University, so Tulsa University cop, when she's parked there, go get her tag information and give it to us. Except I parked on the wrong side of the building, didn't I? Yeah, when I came out, he just sat there. My guy's like, they just called in your description of your car, so watch for a cop. So I'm getting ready to pull out of the parking lot, and my guy goes, there's your guy right there. Sit there. Just sit there. Don't pull out yet. Just wait. I'm like, okay. What's he doing? He's just sitting there. Okay, you sit there. Let him sit there. Y'all sit there. Both of you. We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. He should have gone. Yeah, I'm trying to wait him out, basically. Because I know, we just heard him, Charles and those guys, Calvin, talking to him, tell him to get my tag information. A private entity, Tulsa University, not a real cop. Get her tags and call us with the information on her car. We're stalkers. So we're sitting there. My guy finally goes, okay, go. Now, I could have gone down the street right next to the cop, and he had to do a U-turn to do that. Instead, we want to catch you guys. He's already got a recording of you asking him to pull me over, giving him a description of my car. We're just waiting to find where's the cop. Well, there he is. There's your guy right there saying, wait. Don't pull out yet. Wait him out. If that's him, he'll wait. If it's not him, he'll go on his way. So, if it is him, you want him to follow you. You want him to pull you over. Let's get him. Now he's got a wiretap on his phones. Because he waited he waited me out. So there you go. We're not playing games with y'all. I know you don't get it. You don't understand what people say. Again, not our problem. We're getting the intel. We're going to put you in jail with it either way. What you understand doesn't concern us. Mr. Perry might end up going to a mental hospital before the week's up so that he can better understand what people say. Yeah. Okay, I pick up an order today. Look at that. How many times was that guy pulled over? That's a very expired tag right there. So I get pulled over like 6-7 times within a very short period of time. That's the list I wanted. How many times was he pulled over? I got a whole bunch of these. Where I just start taking pictures of expired tags. How come this guy's not been pulled over? How many times has that one been pulled over? 7, 8, 9 like I was? 6, 7, 8, 9? Yeah, pull me over, pull her over, take her car, pull it 20,000 times. When you do the crime to me, we always find out before, not after. I did not get pulled over tonight because my guys are sitting there telling me, go down this street, go that way, go this way. Don't go down that street. Then what, Judy calls? Chief Franklin had not a fucking thing to do with any of it. So Judy calls Franklin and yells and screams at him, you didn't get your guys to pull her over? But explain to Chief Franklin, to Judge Parker, how you're not in that loop. What our guys do, you're not in the loop. Secondly, you do have a legal and moral obligation to enforce the laws in the state and jurisdiction that you're supposed to enforce the law. You're law enforcement, so enforce the fucking law. I have the right to the application of, witness tampering. I usually say Title 18, United States Code 1512, 1513, and all applicable state laws. Violence against women. I have the right to be protected against men who are trying to traffic me, and your officers to do it. And Judge Parker is putting herself in as a co-conspirator when she calls and throws a fit because I didn't get pulled over. Why the fuck would you do that? I don't even understand that. Why the fuck would you do that? That's what we hear. Now, if the information is incorrect, fine. Correct it. If it's correct, stop doing that. It's illegal. It's fucking illegal. If you have something in Judge Egan's... Here's what I know about that. All I know about that is that Mr. Powell was recorded constantly asking for my whereabouts. But he's been doing that since 2016. Calling Sepulpa. What's her whereabouts? We didn't have her whereabouts yet. Do we have Ms. Ortiz's address yet? I use a protected state address because of you and Charles. Because I don't live in Texas. I don't have a fucking thing to do with y'all. I left. So why are you wanting to know my address? I don't call up and want yours. I don't give a fuck where you live. So stop stalking. Stop stalking me. It's none of your business where I live or what my address is. So we don't understand why constantly. Do we have her whereabouts yet? Even they were getting irritated. The same thing. One of those guys, I don't know who it was. Brian maybe or something, I don't know. Anyways, he was like, excuse my language, but again, I'm quoting somebody else. Mr. Perry can evoke such anger that it'll make you cuss. It just fucking makes you cuss. Because his conduct is so outrageous and so offensive and causes so much harm that for you to be around him for very long at all, the first time he does something to you or costs you some money or costs you some time, it's going to make you cuss. So one of those guys said, I am sick and tired of Charles Perry shitting him, wanting me to clean him, wipe his ass every time he shits himself like he's a fucking infant. I'm sick of that. He can wipe his own ass. And he keeps wanting to know how she found out. We've been doing this for a long time. How she found, I don't know. I don't owe him any answers any more than she does. Nobody does. He's the offender. He's committing the crime in a state where he doesn't even live. Nobody invited you here. They can't get you to leave. Your people are even complaining about that. I voted for Charles Perry because he said that he's a happily married church deacon. After he gets elected, he's always in Oklahoma strip clubs. And they can't get him to leave. And we never see him. He's never here. That's a little frustrating for me as a constituent, that the person that I voted to represent me isn't who he says he was, and he's never around. He's always in a strip club in another state committing crimes, pissing those people off. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. So there you have it. You don't call and use taxpayer-funded resources for your personal gain or profit. Do you understand? You don't ask a judge to do that either. Do you understand? Guess what? Doesn't matter. We're going to get the intel and use it to put you in jail either way. Whether you're fucktard or not fucktard, doesn't matter to us one bit. That's your problem. So, first we hear Matt always wanting me served. And somebody say, well, Mr. Powell is, Charles and Dave don't want her served, first of all. Second of all, they don't want her in that club because they're running drugs and prostitution out of that club. And here's poor Mr. Powell wanting her served, wanting to know when she's going back to work so he can serve her. And those other two, they're all pretending to be on the same team, and they're not. They conflict. They're trying to run her out of there. They don't want her served. And they don't want her to even know what's happening. Well, our guys don't want me to know all of it either, because the prosecutor gets in touch with me and he goes, I'm not going to tell you if something's been filed or something's about to be filed, but you're going to hear a lot of Mr. Powell talking about serving you. You don't touch it. It's criminal. So I'm dealing with it in your criminal case. And then we're quoting a judge say, well, she can't prove it. I hear y'all. She can't prove it. She can't prove it. And at which time she said, and it might be Egan, it might be Parker, I'm not told, I don't even know. At that time she said, here's the thing, the police can. There's a lot she has well in advance that she got from somewhere. And this Fabian puzzle, and the most compelling is that she did know Officer Nealey was drugged before anybody said it. There weren't depositions taken yet, and it wasn't made public yet, way before she knew. So unless you can give me a viable alternative to that coming from law enforcement to protect her and Officer Nealey with some substantiating evidence, it's law enforcement. It's certainly not Roswell aliens and shapeshifters. We know that. She's not psychic. You can't psychic yourself a Fabian puzzle. So a viable explanation and an alternative theory with substantiating evidence, please. It's a courtroom. It's a courtroom. So you don't get to use cops, Mr. Perry. You don't get to illegally access my electronic device to use it to coax me or Hansel and Gretel me to a certain location so that I, get pulled over. And that officer can call you up and give you the tag information and address and all that crap. Who is there lien on it and all that stuff. It's not your business. It's just not. You need to get a life. You're intending to coerce. You've said it over and you never shut up about it. I want her to be destitute so that she'll have no choice but to be trafficked or she can't survive. I intend, which we only need you to say that one time. Every time after that, it's icing on the cake. And you with the repeat. That's one of the things, the basis the shrink wants to use to have you admitted into a hospital, mental hospital. The number of times he's repeated himself, 20,000 times, only on our car. That's not including all the other stuff he's done. So, and the number of times she's had to say, don't invade my privacy, don't contact me or my family, and get your hands out of my wallet. If you took it, give it back. If you broke it, fix it, and get the fuck out. Right now. You don't have a choice. As much as we quote you, you're in deep delusion. If you fucking think you have a choice, you absolutely do not. I shouldn't be broke. So look how much we got since March 2020 because I am. And I'm broke because of you. It's not a bad economy and you're trying to help me. And my family needs to understand he wants to traffic me. It's not that I'm refusing his help. It's that I'm refusing to be trafficked. He didn't tell you the whole story. He fucking lied to you. And then it was, we'll make this false arrest thing happen, and then I'll make her sign my lie, and then we'll do this wedding and with the false photos so that I can cover up the forgery that I used to ruin her finances so that I could traffic her and get information I shouldn't have, get it illegally, so I could frame her for this murder. Right? And then, if she refuses, I'll just tell her family again, I didn't realize she had this other legal problem. I didn't know anything about it, but I offered to help her, and she just refused. So she's just going to have to be stuck there in jail. She just won't let me help her. Poor me, I'm a victim. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's just another way to coerce trafficking. It is another way to facilitate trafficking. It's coercion, intimidation, witness tampering, fraud, perjury, forgery. You got a long list coming. And it doesn't matter what you think. We're going to do it anyway. Right? We get the intel either way. We're getting it to convict. And the more you cause problems for me, the more we get. Direct proportion, he said. Okay, so I don't know anything. I don't know if it's Judge Egan or not. He won't tell me. But he said, I'm going to quote the judge right now. I'm quoting the judge. That you need to put that into their hands so that they understand when I say I'm handling this. It's not for you to handle. The prosecutor, me, I'm handling it because it's fraud. So I'm going to quote a judge. We've quoted Morrissey. We've quoted Kirkendall. I need you to leave her alone for a few weeks so I can rule out provocation and entrapment because it looks to me like you're doing exactly what the harassment email says. I'm going to send her home, harass the shit out of her, and when she complains about it, I'll lie and say she's harassing me. Right? We've got that. Hold on. Well, in advance. This was in 2018. We've got one here, 2017. So Kirkendall says, in 2021, again, we've quoted Parker, we've quoted Judge Egan, I think. We've quoted, the reason I think it was Judge Egan is because the person repeating her said that was Judge Egan. The leak said that. The leak that got it to the prosecutor said that was Judge Egan. So if it's not, he may, sometimes they tell me things, let me put it this way, intentionally, once in a while, intentionally information is put out wrong, so you'll correct it. Okay, because when you start correcting us, in a courtroom or not in a courtroom, that helps us prove prove many things that we might want to prove that we're not going to divulge to you. So I'm going to say Judge Egan. And Judge Egan, by the way, if you listen to these and if you are involved, I did really want you to make a ruling when I filed my breach of contract on whether or not the bond conditions constituted a contract and whether or not it was binding to Mr. Perry. And you dismissed on res judicata, which didn't qualify. It didn't qualify, my prosecutor says. You might want to look at that because that might be a problem in the near future. So here's this right here. He said, you keep your hands off of it. It's fraud. I'm using it in the criminal case. You don't need to worry about it. I got it. I'm fixing to nail their ass with it. So who's testifying in my relatives that has to go in and say, I think that I didn't have all the information they needed at the time when I've testified falsely before? And how many times does that happen? And poor Barry Hill's going, we didn't have, now I'm kind of upset because I went in there and said, no, Charles didn't ask us to pull her over. And that's not what she said. I'm commenting on something I didn't see. I didn't hear. I wasn't a witness to it. Now I feel stupid that I didn't pay attention to what she said. She's not quoting me and him talking. She's just quoting him saying, tell Broken Arrow to pull her over today. Get her door dashing and Broken Arrow. Have them do it. Okay. And then there's oh, she lied. Barry Hill's going to go in and say, no, she didn't, we didn't get that kind of phone call. And the guy's like, but that's what, here's the thing though. You got to be real careful about listening to who she's quoting and what she's saying. Because she didn't quote a conversation between Charles and Barry Hill. She just quoted Charles telling somebody to do that. But a lot of times, once he finds out she knows, he won't do it. He'll nix it. Not always, but sometimes. So we don't know if it actually was, the phone call actually then went to Barry Hill and then anybody else. She didn't DoorDash and Broken Arrow, and she didn't get pulled over, so I'm not even sure. What I can tell you is that she wasn't quoting a conversation between Charles and Barry Hill. She just quoted Charles say how Broken Arrow pulled her over today. So you got to be very careful and listen to what she says and who she's quoting. And I pretty much never quote my family. I'm always quoting you. Okay? Yeah, you're unbelievably stupid. So he's asking us to pull her over. I'm busy. I got shit to do. Normal crime, real crime to solve. Hers is one. I might get her a protective order. That's a motive for murder right there. That alone is a motive for murdering him. Because we know Mike didn't do it. He didn't have a mark on him. You can't beat somebody to death and have not one bruise, especially not while you're dying of opioid overdose. Who brought those to him? Who gave those to him? Yeah, there was a lot of that investigation we still need to know. That didn't get. Travis Myers is a fuck up. He's your bitch, isn't he? Yeah, I don't have any patience for that. Now, why is Mike still in jail? We told you to get him out. Did you think you had a choice? You really don't. You think a lot of things. None of it's based in reality. So, there it is. Point out for me the marks on him looked like he was in a fight. I got to see evidence of the crime, Mr. Perry. You can't just pull something out of your ass. Now, when I'm around, you better have evidence, and a lot of it. And that evidence better fit your story. And if it doesn't fit your story, I'll kick your ass with it. I promise. I did it on his case. That's what Richard said. You can't just go around saying, well, just because you can't put her at the crime scene on this murder you wanted to frame her for. You can't even, she's never even been there. Oh, it's just a public defender. They won't think of that. You who? Right here, dum-dum. She'll kick your ass if you're not careful. Don't underestimate. Don't fucking underestimate her. Plus, I have 40 cops helping me and a prosecutor and a forensic accountant and a shrink. And the shrink evaluates each and every one of y'all's personalities and all your strengths and all your weaknesses. And they put together quite a plan. And it works very well, does it not? We're quoting you. You're not quoting us. We got stuff nobody has. When you do the crime to me, you get caught, dum-dum. We don't care if you understand or not. We're going to get the intel to put you in jail either way. It's your problem if you're stupid. We don't care. We don't care at all. What they care about is whether or not I have money to pay my bills on time and eat and shit. Okay? And I go to work without having to worry about Calvin's going to call XYZ PD and ask him to pull her over. Yeah. And get information that's not his business or yours. Jesus. Okay, so we've quoted, Fabian. Fabian says, I go in and I'm like, I went to work and he's all asshole and he's all hostile. And I'm like, the hell? We didn't have a fight. Charles must have called. I go out into the back. There was like a porch in the back. And one of my friends was there. And I looked at him and I go, the fuck is that all about? He could see it. And he goes, I think that he was kind of wanting to talk to you. And maybe you didn't pick up on his... I think he was wanting to talk to you alone. And this girl turned around and she goes, he did. That senator called here. And I said, what? And she goes, that senator in Lubbock called here. I said, okay, enough said. I got it. I left. I went home. I come back. And on a day that I wasn't working... And I walked in and I said, I got to talk to you. I got a stalker situation. And he goes, oh. He looked relieved. And he looked for a moment. First he's pissed. And then he looks relieved. And then he looks pissed again. Kind of like, I'm relieved it's a stalker. But now I'm pissed off that it's a stalker and he's calling here. And I got to deal with this. Yeah. Stalkers tend to do that. Stalking is a crime for a reason. People don't like it when you do that. That's why everybody made it illegal in all 50 states. It's illegal to stalk. And traffic. And coerce. And witness tamper. And use public resources for your personal profit. Could extort my money. Take my money. Make me starve to death so you can get your millions. Doing something illegal. You're taking my money that I'm doing normal legal things, working, basic rights and needs, pay the bills on time, meet contract requirements. You're taking all that so that you can make millions doing something illegal. And you want people to feel sorry for you that there's cops making it where you can't. Not this time. So, we don't know, everybody's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? What in the fuck is wrong with him? Yeah. It's not family. It's not that it's a bad economy and I won't let him help me. It's that he wants to traffic me. And so, it's not that he wants to help me. It's that he wants to starve me to where, in order to eat or to survive, I have to agree to be trafficked. He will make me sign a lie affidavit. He'll use the justice system and the public resources paid by taxpayers to coerce, to intimidate, to make me feel forced. And he'll act like he just didn't know anything about it. And then he tried to help me, and I just refused help. He set the whole thing up. He's been working that for years. We've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it over. And I mean, this is not new. This has been going on for about 3 years now, isn't it? My professor that told you if you have to alter evidence in the change of her color of her hair or weight gain or loss or the change of skin color, you got the wrong person. You're altering evidence. You're just fucking with her. She's not going to cooperate with that. Nobody would. It's not her fault. That's your fault. So, Fabian tells me, I'm not going to tell you the whole conversation I had with him, but what he said that was the most profound was, I think that, or not most profound, but very profound. I think that you deserve better than to spend the rest of your life being harassed by this guy. Thank you. You win. You win. I don't go out with a man unless he makes sure I don't miss a meal. Unless there's something prohibiting him from being able to do what he'd want to do, that might mean the loss of life. That might mean the loss of life. Because the only thing more important than making sure I don't miss a meal would be life. If it's going to get somebody killed, I can go without a meal or two. I have. Many, many, many times you've made me go without a meal or two to prevent the loss of life. So my family needs to know that Mr. Perry is not offering to help me. Mr. Perry is making it sound like that to you. It's about trafficking. Make her destitute so the only way she can survive is to be trafficked. And we'll call that I'm helping her. Yeah, nope, that's not it. That is bullshit. That's total bullshit. And Mr. Perry, when you contact me, we always get more, always. So before you contact me, make sure you can live with us getting more. When we get the intel, it is to lock you up. There's nobody helping you. We get the help, not you. You make everybody sick at their stomach. Everybody wants you gone. When you're gone, I'll never be broke again. Ever. You won't be around to cause problems anymore. There won't be any more loss and ruined days. Not from you. You'll be gone. Maybe that'll be by the end of this week. There's a shrink and a judge talking now with other shrinks and judges trying to figure out if that's a viable option. Or trying to find a way to make it a viable option. So that they get you out of my hair. Because you've made a lot of problems and a lot of people are pissed about it. A lot of good people. We're quoting judges. We're naming your people. You're running around asking, how'd she find out? How'd she know? We quote you guys every day for 10 years. And so if you're such a fucktard, you can't understand what it means that we have that. Not our problem. We're going to get the intel and use it to lock you up either way. Okay? You've heard a lot of people for a very long time. And we said not this time. That's it. Stop. You stop. Or we'll stop you. So we don't have a problem getting information, Mr. Perry. You do. Nobody help you. There's the, what's her whereabouts? What's her whereabouts? So I still don't have exactly a whole lot of details on whatever Mr. Powell wanted to serve me, and I don't care. I really don't. The only thing that matters is that the prosecutor's going to handle it. The prosecutor's dealing with it. He's telling me what the judge said. And if Chief Franklin wants to do his job and enforce the laws in Oklahoma to protect women like me from guys like you, he can. Judge Parker, it's not your place to get in, obstruct. It's really not. If he tells his officer they're going to call her, they're going to call you and have her pull you over, don't do it. It's none of your business. I'm not saying that's what happened. It's not, actually. What happened is my guys told me how to get around it. Calvin just told this guy here to go around this way instead. He's done that more than once. Or they want you to DoorDash in Broken Arrow. They call Broken Arrow and told them to do it, or they're going to, or whatever it is on that any given day. There's been 2 or 3 of those guys say, no, we're not doing that. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I'm sorry, but I think that gig's up. Taxpayer resources are for the taxpayers to protect and serve. Not police are Charles. Police are not your bitches. Listen to me. The police in Oklahoma are not your bitches, Charles. The cops in Oklahoma are not your bitches. The police in Oklahoma are not your bitches. We don't care how much money you have. Nobody's helping you either way, are they? No. You're running around asking about leaks and who's helping her and blah, blah, making all these phone calls. We got all this money and my partners and I got all this money. Anybody helping you? Oh, hell no. Nope, not getting any. Nope. Our guys will not call you back. He said, I told him in March 2020, she's not to have her privacy invaded. You don't make her broke. You get the fuck out of her life. If you took it, give it back. If you broke it, fix it. And fuck off. You little pathetic pussy. Fuck off. You don't beat down women and think you're going to be respected by men. Not men like me. You fuck the hell off, bitch, or I'm going to do it for you. We say it and then we show you. So I'm not going to fucking waste my time. You're beneath me. You can't understand what give it back and get out is. I have no more. I'm sorry, but I'm done. I don't have time to talk to some stupid like you. I'm going to get the information to put you in jail either way. Whether you're smart, stupid, sane, insane, whether you understand me or not, doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to put you in jail with it either way. You're pissing people off, being cruel. So I don't have a problem getting it. I don't have leaks. I'm naming your people. You can't name us. Look how much more we got since March 2020, because you're stupid and you can't understand what people say. So I'm not going to waste my time on a phone call with somebody like that. I'm busy getting the intel so that I can put a stop to it for you. I'll put a stop to it for you. And again, whether you understand those words in March 2020 or now or next week, I don't care. I'm getting the intel. I'm going to put you in jail with it Either way. Either way. It's your problem.
I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you.
Stalkers use a phone to hack and interfere with commerce and interfere with contracts and get information they have no business having. Right? Or maybe coax you down the street to get you pulled over to show, I got a lot of power. I got the cops in Tulsa are my bitches. Right? And that's what cops are supposed to do with stalking. And if you do that, you wouldn't get those fucking phone calls. I want you to be my bitch. Oh my God. Charles, police, there's honor in the badge, man. There's honor in the badge. Treat those guys with respect and stop asking them to bend over for you, okay? Stop doing that. It's very offensive.
Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you.
Let me preface this. One of the officers said, I'm not going to pull her over. And he was told, you may not have a choice. So with that said, everybody has a choice. Charles, they are not your bitches. There's honor in the badge. Do not treat them that way ever again, because you're having to deal with us now. Is that clear? You're seeing things you've not seen before. We quote you. You are not quoting us. You're not. And whether or not you understand what that means, I don't care. No one cares. It's your problem if you're stuck, if you're fucked hard. That's your problem. We get the intel either way.
I don't want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me
All
alone.
you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to, but even when they're not. Unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
Okay, guess what else, Mark? Whether or not I say use allegedly to your satisfaction, we're getting the intel either way.